Uh, Hello everyone, welcome to the called answers of the year 2025 for the month of August. And there are 6 questions to be attempted out of the 9, like you all know. And we'll try to address to each questions uh, one by one. And like last time, the the questions have been repetitive in nature, like the month of August, July and August. The questions have been repetitive. So if you refer to the past papers, most of the questions you will find there is a repetition. So easily one could attempt 6 questions here, and I would like to go through all the questions that have been asked. Now, going to the first question, that is to enumerate the main 3 principles of LLMC, that is limitations of liability of maritime claim as per the convention 1976, and explain its linkage with two other IMO liability and compensation conventions. Part B of the question is to discuss what are the different liabilities covered under the LLMC, and Part C is discuss the principles of International Salvage Convention 1989 as established by IMO. Furthermore, examine the rationale for extending the liability to salvor under the LLMC Convention and specify the current liability limit applicable to them. I would like all of you to subscribe to the channel, like, and also share among the friends who are attempting the class 1 written paper. So this is going to help most of our fellow seafarers here. Right. So coming to the answer to this uh, question. Right. First of all, the 3 main principles of LLMC 1976 and its linkage to other IMO liabilities. Right to limit liability is the first one, global limitation is the second, and uniform international standard is the third. Now, coming to the right to limit liability, ship owners, salvors, certain other parties are entitled to limit their liability for maritime claims regardless of fault, unless proven that the loss resulted from their personal act or omission committed with intent or recklessness with knowledge, breakability of limit. Now, again, let's go through it. Right to limit liability. Shipowners, salvors, and certain other parties are entitled to limit their liability for maritime claim, regardless of fault, unless proven that the loss resulted from their personal act or omission committed with intent or recklessness with knowledge. Now, here, the shipowners, the salvors, and other parties, like maybe charterers or the port authority, try to save their part, save their back, in our words. Uh, so, so they need to prove that they have not committed something out of intention or due to omission of certain procedures or due to some personal act or malpractice. So this they have to prove from their end. If they do it, then they have certain limit to liability. Second one is a global limitation. The liability limit is not based on individual claims, but a global fund established for all claims arising out of one incident. Now there is a global limitation. You cannot charge ship owner, salvor, or other parties unlimited. Like beyond, like there is a certain cap which has been put up based on the global fund that is collected or established. So there is a reinsurance that happens. So there is a cap up to which the insurance can be claimed, right? So there is a limit called the global limitation. Uniform international standard. Okay, this provides internationally recognized limitations among amount based on ship's tonnage and ensures uniformity across states to avoid wide disparities in national laws. Now, you might have observed that different countries have different norms towards pollution. Some countries have a very stricter norms. The country may be very uh, small in size, but their uh, their I mean their rules should not exceed the international standards. So, so this provides internationally recognized limitation among amount based on ship's tonnage. So based on ship's tonnage, like for example, a 500 gross tonnage ship can is estimated to result X amount of pollution. Now, like go to the VLCCs, like a 3 lakh tonnage vessel is going to uh, cause Y amount of pollution. So Y is definitely greater than X. So Y needs to there is a certain standardization for X for a ship of 500 gross tonnage. Certain amount of cap is provided for a ship which is uh, of Y type needs to have a much larger coverage because the chances of such ships polluting is very high. So there are different caps here. Again, to remember, right to limit liability, the global limitations, also uniform international standards. Now, linkage with other IMO conventions. This is very important. The Civil Liability Conventions 6992 deals with liability for oil pollution damage caused by tankers. Unlike LLMC General, CLC provides strict liability for pollution but excludes the applicability of LLMC to oil pollution claims covered under CLC. And then there is a HNS Convention, Hazardous and Noxious Substance Convention 1996, applies to damage from carriage of hazardous cargo similar to CLC. It overrides LLMC for such specific claims but complements it by filling gaps in the liability for substances other than the oil. Thus, LLMC applies as a general framework while CLC and HNS applies as a specific liability regime. These points are quite important. LLMC is a general framework. So under the framework, there are also the CLC and HNS convention that come into play. So CLC with deals with liability for oil pollution damage caused by tankers. So see this, it is only for the oil pollution caused by tankers, not bulk carriers, not general cargo, not containers, not passenger vessels. So CLC deals with oil pollution damage caused by tankers because tankers are expected to cause a large scale amount of pollution. That is why this has come in place. Unlike LLMC, which is quite general in nature, CLC provides strict liability for pollution but excludes the applicability of LLMC to oil pollution claims covered under CLC. Okay, so there is no duplication of claim, right? And coming to HNS, now applies to damage from carriage of hazardous cargoes. Definitely, like you're carrying hazardous cargo, that is your chemical tankers, or carried in bulk. Similar to CLC, it overrides LLMC. This overrides LLMC. LLMC is quite general, but HNS is superseding the LLMC for such specific claims, but complements it by filling gaps in liabilities for substance other than oil. Right. It overrides LLMC, but if certain damages, if there are certain uh, filling gaps in case of LLMC due to hazardous cargo, it takes care of it. Like that, LLMC is a general framework. CLC and HNS applies to a specific liability regime. Now coming to liabilities covered under LLMC. LLMC covers wide range of maritime claims, including claims for loss of personal injury or life to passengers, crew, or others on board ashore is caused by direct connection with ship's operation. Claims for loss of damage to property include cargo, baggage, port facility, navigational aids, and coastal installations. Claims arising from delay in the carriage of cargo or passengers. Claims for damage from infringement of rights such as obstruction of waterways, wreck removal, etc. Claims of salvage nature, remuneration owed to salvor, special compensation claims under Salvage Convention. Claims arising from measures taken to avert minimize losses, including damage caused by preventive measures. Exclusion, oil pollution claims under CLC, nuclear damage claims, and certain cargo claims governed by other conventions are excluded. Right. Let's go through this again. LLMC covers wide range of maritime claim. You will see that loss of life and personal injuries are covered by LLMC. Claim for lost property, damage to property like baggage, port facility, navigation needs, coastal installation, like a vessel goes and hits some coastal installation. The damage to the property is taken care of by LLMC. Claims arising from delay. Yes, claims for damage from infringement of rights, claims of salvage nature. Correct. Here, enumeration owed to salvor, special compensation claims under salvage. Claims arising from measures taken to avert minimize loss, including damage caused by preventive measures. Oil pollution claims under CLC. Nuclear damage claims and certain cargo claims governed by other conventions are excluded. See, oil pollution of tankers is strictly by CLC. Principles of International Salvage Convention 1989. Salvors under LLMC. Principle of Salvage Convention 1989. Encouragement of salvage operations. Salvors are entitled to reward for successful salvage of ships, cost, cargo, and freight. No cure, no pay modified. Introduced special compensation Article 14. Salvors can claim responsible expenses if they prevent up or minimize environmental damage, even if the salvage was not successful. Protection of environment aims to balance traditional property salvage with protection of maritime environment. Fair reward. Award determined considering salved's value, skill, efforts to protect environment and degree of danger. So the rationale for extending LLMC protection to salvor faces high risk, including potential liability for damage during operation. To encourage salvage services, they are granted the right to limit liability under LLMC, just like ship owners. Current liability limit for salvors under LLMC 1996 protocol as amended by 2012 limits. For claims for loss of life or personal injuries, 2 million SDR for ships up to 2000 gross tonnage plus amount scaled with tonnage. For other claims, 1 million SDR for ships up to 2000 gross tonnage plus scaled tonnage increases. Salvors not operating from a ship, liability calculated on basis of 1500 gross tonnage. Now you'll see for claims for loss of life or personal injury, 2 million SDR for ships up to 2000 GT, right? Plus amount scaled with tonnage. For other claims, including salvor, 1 million SDR for ships up to 2000 gross ton, plus scale tonnage increases. Salvor not operating from ship, liability calculated on basis of 1500 gross tonnage.